What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Weapon Collective. Back down in the Gat Cave today. We are just doing a little video. It should be pretty quick of guns that have shown up recently. These are new additions, and so I'm going to go over them with you today, share them. These are some pretty cool guns. And then eventually we're going to get to the range with them. But I know I say that, and then it takes a while to get to it. I'm working through a catalog of stuff to get through, and stuff keeps showing up. So give me a little bit of time, and I will get to it, I promise you. But let's just jump right into this and get this buttoned up. So first gun, this is the Kovert X Cosaint. It's a 4.6-inch ported gun. It has V8 ports, and this thing is pretty cool. I'm not really even that familiar with Cosaint, but Kovert, I know, does amazing work. So I wanted to get a gun from Kovert, and this is one of the things that wasn't a year wait if it was available at all. So I do have a Trijicon SRO and a Surefire X300 Ultra on this one. It is all DLC blacked out coating, which I like. I like the Cerakote with all the camo patterns and everything, but sometimes you just get a black DLC and it looks phenomenal. And this one does. But let me tell you, so I got this, and this is the one I've had the longest. The other ones are more recent. But I got this, and obviously it came without an optic, so there was a cover plate over the optic cut. And I don't know if it was from Kovert or if it was from Cosaint, but first off, this optic plate was on here, and this one has 4 screws. Most optic plates have 2 screws. This gun happened to have 4, and they were absolutely just caked in Loctite or whatever thread locker they used. They caked those 4 screws on that optic cover plate so bad that 2 of them stripped trying to get out just the optic cover. And I've had a nightmare with this gun trying to get this red dot mounted. That was a pain in the butt getting those out, I'll tell you that. And why you need thread locker at all on just the optic cover plate, I'm not so sure, but I guess if you're never going to take it off and just run iron sights, you don't want that to come loose, but still, you don't need 4 screws with a whole bottle of Loctite on them. So I got that optic plate off, the cover plate off, and then the C&H plates that came with it, with the little T-nuts, if you're familiar with those, that go up through the bottom of the optic plate, and then you screw the 2 optic screws down into these T-nuts. And those were shearing off, and had this optic come off. I got it to the range. I was going to zero it. First shot, pooh, optic goes shooting off the back. So now I think I've finally got this all buttoned up and strongly secured. The optic flying off, that wasn't C&H's fault. That wasn't Kovert or Cosaint's fault. That was mine. I used the wrong length screw for the T-nut, which to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the T-nut. Just give me a screw that goes right into the plate and I'll call it good. I've had plenty of those T-nuts break over the years. So then we get to the grip on this thing, which I love. And this is, it's got to be a Miller Precision grip. It doesn't say that in any of the details that were sent with the gun or on the website, but it has to be, because these are the same ones that Vulcan collabs with Miller on. And it does have these mag releases that they're more like, they function more like a Glock mag release in there, if you're familiar with that. It's not like your typical 2011 where you pop a little screw out of this side and the whole thing comes out. These are interchangeable, so you can swap these back and forth. Other than the Staccato HD, this is the only 2011 grip that I'm aware of that you can actually flip the mag release. So like I said, DLC coated, all in black, 4.6-inch V8 ports. Also, one thing I'm very stoked on, pinned grip safety. And every gun we're looking at today has a pinned grip safety. I didn't do that deliberately. I didn't buy these guns because of that. It just happened to work out that way. But maybe it means that the tide is shifting to most people pinning their grip safeties, which I would very much like. So this is the Kovert X Cosaint 4.6 ported. Okay, this next gun is really cool as well. And there's a little story that goes along with it, but let's just jump into it and I'll tell you about it as we go. So I got this gun from Modern Warriors. This is the Legion Precision Weapon System Shyrack, the Tactical Toolbox Edition. So if you don't know, Tactical Toolbox is another gun tuber YouTube channel. Does a lot of cool stuff, and he made this gun with Legion Precision. Really good looking pistol, if you ask me. I love the gray with the burnt bronze grip. It is Cerakoted, and I just love the knurling on the slide. I think that is gorgeous. Just everything just kind of speaks to me. I like it a lot. I'm familiar with Legion Precision. This is the first gun that I own from them, but I'm familiar with the name, and I bought this from Modern Warriors, as I said. I got it, and then as I am like reading about it a little more on the internet, I see these videos where they're talking about only 5 of these being made. Now, I found that to be a little dubious because it wasn't sold to me as one of 5. And so I called Legion Precision and I spoke with him, and he says the way that you tell is they did in fact make more guns in this same aesthetic after those initial 5 because the demand was such. So they made more, but the way that you tell, the first 5 had 2 ports. So I have 2 ports, but I'm missing engraving under here on the rail that says 1 of 5, 2 of 5, so on, so on. So I'm still kind of in this gray area. He is running the serial number. It's going to take a few days to get back to me, but this could be or could not be 1 of 5. I highly doubt that it is, but it is weird that all the subsequent guns had 3 ports from the horse's mouth. So I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really change much other than it would make it much cooler if it was 1 of 5. But like I said, I doubt it is. And other than that, I just think it's a fantastic looking gun. Trigger on it is really good. So it is a red dirt trigger, and you just have almost no take up, and then really light crisp break. Reset, nice short tactile, and right back. So this is a gun I'm very much looking forward to shoot. And now that I did that, I realized I didn't show you the Kovert trigger. So let's take a look at that real quick. And once again, this is an Atlas trigger, so very little take up, boom, and I mean, these are all very close in trigger weight. Reset, little longer, and nice break. The Legion has a shorter reset, I will say that. And it is red dirt, as I said, nice big magwell. And really the thing that attracted me to it was the aesthetic and being ported. And then once I got my hands on it, this thing feels really good in hand. Trijicon SRO Surefire X300 Turbo, and it just is really great feel in hand. I'm excited to shoot this thing. This is the Legion Precision Weapon System Shyrack Tactical Toolbox Edition. It's a mouthful, but it is a dope gun, no doubt. Okay, and this next gun is really cool, but it's going to require a couple things that happen to it very soon. So let me show it to you. This is the Fowler Industries Vanta 9K. And I have a Fowler Vanta 9, the 5-inch, which is a fantastic gun. And these are not easy to get. It takes a long wait and it's just a pain in the butt. So I did get this from Reactive Gunworks. I've talked about them on the channel. Awesome shop here in Utah, and they got this and I was able to get it from them. And this is a very cool little gun, but I don't like this short little K size grip. So I did order the same grip, but full size. So this is Fowler's Valentine grip, which is as far as I know, just a tad more aggressive than their normal grip. And so I did order a full length grip in the FDE. And why did I do that? Well, I like the length of a full size grip, but the biggest problem, and I've spoken about this with some of my Atlas guns, is they make these, and I mean, I understand what they're doing with trying to keep this mag flush with the bottom of the gun, so it has this big kind of heel that comes down off the grip, making it incompatible with a magwell. And okay, if you're going to carry the gun, don't put a magwell on it. But if you're not using this as an EDC, then I would much prefer that the manufacturer, Atlas, Fowler, whoever, give me the option of running a magwell. Because two reasons on that. I just love the magwell feel, and it just enhances my grip so much where I can roll down on that magwell and keep downward pressure when I'm shooting. But also, it just looks way better. I mean, magwell, no magwell. Like, it, maybe you don't agree with me, but aesthetically, a magwell does a lot for a gun. Not to mention just ergonomics and function. But maybe I'm alone there. But anyway, I do have a grip coming from Fowler where I'm going to swap that out and I'm going to be in business. And the other thing is, had I ordered this direct from Fowler, I would not have got a threaded barrel. I just don't have a lot of use for a threaded barrel on a pistol, let alone a 2011. I'm not out shooting these things suppressed, but I think I have two 2011s. This makes it 3 that have a threaded barrel. One of them is that staccato with the Dawson Precision compensator on it. So it's threaded, but not threaded like this. I can just take that comp off real easily and put a suppressor on it if I want to. The thing that I really like about the Fowlers is the attention to detail on these things. Like just all these little patches of knurling for your trigger finger, like little index points, and all these little lightning cuts in the slide, all this little attention to detail that's just gorgeous. Even this little Fowler logo right here. I think they just do a fantastic machining job. And these guns are amazing. Pin grip safety, just everything about these is made phenomenally well. My only gripe is the grip, which I will change, so no big deal. But let's look at this trigger. Very little take up and very light break. And I'm gonna say that Legion gun, this Fowler, these are probably breaking at like 2.5 pounds. And then the Kovert, maybe 3.5. It's a little heavier. Oh, that's just a very, very nice trigger in this gun. So this is the Fowler Industries Vanta 9K, soon to have a full-size grip. And I'll show you that when I do it. Probably make a video of me doing it. But anyhow, that is that one. And for the very last gun, this one was not expected. All these other ones I ordered, and you know, they came, they shipped into my local FFL, was expecting to get them, and when I went to Reactive Gunworks to pick up that Fowler, they had this sitting there, and I just fell in love with it. So this last one is the Atlas Athena And this one is in this silver PVD, which is just gorgeous, if you ask me. And that's really the aesthetic of this thing. I'm very familiar with the Athena and Atlas's just quality, but when I saw this sitting in its case, I was, oh my gosh, that's a gorgeous gun, because all my other Atlas guns are just black, which I like, don't get me wrong, but there is something about this two-tone, that, you know, dark gray grip with this silver PVD coating on the slide and frame. And oh man. Also, I've been very interested in getting an Athena or a Titan or one of the guns from Atlas that is just not messed with. And by that, what do I mean? Well, all my other Atlas guns are either ported or comped. So this one is just straight up naturally aspirated, and I've never shot one, so I'm very interested to see how this thing shoots compared to their ported guns and the comped gun. Let's go through this bad boy. So this is a 4.6-inch bull barrel on this. I mean, I can't even tell you how much I love my Atlas firearms. They are one of those guns that are just absolutely perfect from the time I get them, and I never want to do anything to them. Now, there is a little voice in the back of my head that if I don't think this thing shoots as good as the ported and comped versions, maybe I'll send this to Vulcan Machine Works and have them Ignis port it. But half me wants to do that, half of me doesn't. I should just keep one of these untouched. And I don't want to mess with this PVD coating. It just looks so good. But anyway, it has a Trijicon SRO and a Surefire X300 Turbo, these fiber optic front sight, and then let me show you something I think that is really nice about Atlas, and this goes for the Cabot Insurrection as well, if you saw that video. But compare it to like this Legion Precision. See the depth of this rear sight, and running an SRO, how it pushes that forward, and you're already hanging this window right over the ejection port. So Atlas, on their rear sight, it is just super thin, and it just allows you to get a little bit further back off that ejection port. And little details like that, I think, are fantastic. I mean, you're still gonna get a whole bunch of carbon buildup on your window, and you're gonna have to clean it off, but far less. Because when they're hanging right over the ejection port like that, not only are you getting a bunch of carbon and mess all over your window much faster, you are potentially at risk for malfunctions. That shell ejects, and it can get bound up with that window hanging out over the ejection port. And so as much space as you can get, the better, and you're not at risk of inducing a malfunction. Kovert, the same, has just the thicker rear notch sight that just pushes it a little bit further forward. If you're not familiar with Atlas and how these work, this rear plate, or this rear iron sight, actually attaches to the optic plate and just has two little screws that screw in from the bottom of the optic plate, and you can mount that right back there. You can take it off if you want, but nice system is my point. So I do really like the slide cuts on this. It's just different, and the contrast of that black barrel under that silver PVD coated slide, that looks so good. And then it does have the grips steps, which is another really cool thing Atlas does, is they have these grip inserts that creates a little palm swell over there, and then for the support hand you have a step where it really fills in that gap. And I haven't shot this gun yet, just picked it up yesterday, but man, that feels so good in hand, and I'm just in love with this thing. So very excited to shoot this. This is their Alpha grip from Atlas, pinned grip safety. Of course, as I said, all the guns in today's video happen to have pinned grip safeties. And then this is Atlas's tactical magwell. They have one larger that's their competition, and then they have their carry magwell, but that is smaller and isn't compatible with their carry guns. So don't ask me. This trigger is crazy. It is little take up, and then, I mean, that is so light. Super short reset. I mean, this gun is just built so well. I love Atlas. I mean, they make such a fantastic product. And this is just a super cool addition to my Atlas collection. As I said, I didn't expect to get this thing. I just happened to see it at Reactive Gunworks yesterday. And I was honestly going in to pick up that Vanta. Very excited about that. And I left, if I'm being honest, a little more excited about the Atlas. So we'll see. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting the Fowler down at all. I'm very stoked on that thing. I just need to get that full-size grip, because right now it's the grip is detracting from what it could be for me. Anyhow, this is the Atlas Gunworks Athena. Okay, so those are the new additions, 4 of those, and really cool guns. I am just obsessed with 2011s. I always think I'm done. Like, okay, I don't need any more guns, which I don't. But then I see something that catches my eye that I'm very interested in, and having the channel gives me a great excuse to get more guns. So thank you guys for watching, because without it, maybe I wouldn't rationalize myself into getting another gun. Okay, and just to wrap this up, I did want to take a second and just say thank you. You guys are awesome. The channel just passed 30,000 subs, which is crazy. Got there way faster than I ever thought we would, and the channel is on a roll, and that is thanks to you guys for all the support that you've given the channel. All the comments, like, share, subscriptions, everything that you guys do is very much appreciated. So, a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming up in the future. This summer, I have some really cool ideas that we're going to do once the weather gets warm. And I am just very happy. I'm having a blast doing all this. So thank you guys. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, reminding you, keep your weapons collected and keep collecting your weapons. I'll catch you next time.